Uh-oh, I was muted. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Liftoff. I am
Welcome.
D-Ray, the producer. And to my left, my queen ace, 100% Miss Lady is in the building. What's going on? What's going on?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Mr. Producer Man, Mr. Producer Man, lover, what are you doing?
Boy, what is the intern doing? Where our music at? I'ma just
I
do it. There
know,
it is.
just ghetto. You
Yeah,
know, you know it's ghetto.
I mean, good
Let me sip on
gracious.
some of my coffee so we don't call his real
Yeah,
name.
yeah, because that'll get us called before the carpet. You
Yeah,
know,
court in session.
you know. Don't use my real name. I'm in the witness protection program. I stole CDs in the early '90s, and the feds are still looking for me.
And
Anyway,
they still in his trunk. They still in his trunk.
they're still in the trunk.
All
Boy,
right. Well, we're gonna leave him
boy,
alone. We're gonna leave him alone.
we better, you know, we just
Yeah.
better.
'Cause he might cut our show. He might cut us.
Yeah, nah, he ain't gonna do that. Don't do that. He don't want.
So what
he
we
don't
got
want that.
going on today? What we doing,
Well,
Mr.
first,
Producer Man?
first and foremost, we had a guest scheduled, and there was a miscommunication with the timing. That was primarily my fault, so I accept responsibility for that. So, but what we do here on the Liftoff, because we are a podcast of independent music, and we are about the music. We're not necessarily about the publicity and the promotion. We really want to get to the core of the music. So today, as we do a Jedi pivot for our
Okay.
podcast, we're going to talk about music today. We're gonna,
Right. So we're gonna lift
we
some
have,
people off.
yeah, we're gonna lift off a few things that are probably already in orbit, but they're getting lifted off again on
All
this
right.
podcast.
Okay.
And so we're gonna really just talk about music. We're gonna talk about what it is. One of these songs I know there's a story behind. There's a story behind the production. Probably more, but whenever we get people on to talk about their stories, they could tell you. But
Okay.
primarily, we're just gonna be talking about music today.
Well,
So,
let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Hey,
so
you can
I
tell I'm
and what
ready.
I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let the intern pick the first track, whatever the case may be. He could just, or maybe I shouldn't have said the pronouns. He
Yeah,
probably didn't want us
PP.
to say. He probably didn't want us to say the pronouns either. So we just gonna say them.
Come on, PP. Drop our
Yeah.
first track.
Hey, drop the first track. Let's go.
Hey, my brother, I know it ain't always easy. Living in a world where the odds are against you. No matter what you do, you're faced with hatred, persecution, and ridicule. I know, my brother, sometimes I wanna give up too. Keep your head up to the sky. Don't let the pressures take your life. Just keep moving. Please believe me when I say that our God will make a way. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Hey, my sister, I it ain't always easy. Having to prove yourself to so many people. No matter what you do, they say you're worthless, not good enough, you don't deserve it. But through it all, with strength and grace, you stand tall. Keep your head up to the sky. Don't let the pressures take your life. Just keep moving. Please believe me when I say, God, our God will make a way. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep your head up and just keep moving. Don't you give up.
The strength
Don't you give
for
up.
you is ahead.
Just keep moving.
Don't look
Just
back,
keep moving.
moving forward.
Don't you give up. It ain't
Don't
easy.
you give up.
Be encouraged
Just
to
keep
live.
moving.
Just keep moving. Moving.
Don't you give up.
Encourage
Don't you
yourself.
give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
I know it may sound redundant, but yes, it's a world designated to keep you down. The quest is on, no matter the cost. The Creator, He'll be your guide. The Creator, He'll be your supply. 'Cause the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but whoever endures, that's who will win.
Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Get your head up to the sky. Don't let the pressures take your life. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Just keep moving.
Whew.
Wow.
That her name is, hold on just a second. Get a second. Christina Sales, featuring
Listen.
Jonathan Sales. And the name of that track is called Keep Moving. And I had the opportunity to meet her on Stanley Flake's podcast. It's a New Day with Stanley and Renee. And they were interviewing her aunt, who was a 9/11 survivor.
Oh, wow.
And and she came on briefly, and her aunt was like, hey, my niece, she has music or whatever, and that is an awesome track. So before I get into it, what do you think? Because I knew it had you in the first second.
You
I knew it.
already
I knew
know.
it.
I was over
I
here
knew it.
trying to figure out how to download it. I was trying to tell you who is she? Because let me tell you what I love about her. One, I love when an artist comes out and you can relate to them. I love when you can relate to what she's saying, and then she put the video to it from beginning to end. Like literally, there was not nothing that she sung about, nothing that she portrayed in that video that I didn't once walk through, can see, can visualize, can understand it. So I love when an artist puts something out that is very meaningful.
Absolutely.
And you can relate to it. Like,
Yeah.
we have to get her on here. If you watching,
listen.
I'm begging you to come on here.
As a matter of fact, I had just inboxed her to let her know that we were going to feature that video. And so we will definitely be getting that together to have her on the liftoff. But few things about this whole song and the video. Number one, the production is pristine. It's a clean production, right? it's a professionally sounding record. And that is the first battle that a lot of independent artists need to realize that, you know, in this day and age, you know, yeah, the internet helped as far as to market your music, but you know what else? Your competition is now Beyonce and Rihanna and Drake and Jay-Z. Those are your competition now because they're on the internet too. So you have to make sure your sound is commercially competitive. And she gets fine colors with that.
Oh, because it was Chris from beginning
right.
to end.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Also, just on a pure technical thing, the video, you can tell that it was a storyboard. You can tell that they tried to create a story that's relatable, just like the song is relatable. Because, you know, and you saw what Miss Lady said, the first thing out of her mouth was, it's relatable, right? And this is why it is so important for independent artists to have a music video that comes out with your track. And not only are you opening yourselves up for other revenue streams, but you're in the business now and making relationships with your fans. You want your fans to go, I really love that. And so guess what's going to happen? The next time you come out with something, they're going to listen to it on site. You know what I mean? And they're going to be like, I love that first one. Let me see if I love this second one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love how she got her family involved. And I'm going to make an assumption that that's her father that's at the end. And she got grandpa in there.
Everybody.
She got aunts and cousins and them's up in there, and
it's just real, D-Ray. It was
right.
so real. Like,
right.
And you know how, like, back in the old days, they would have somebody come on and they would talk about for 20, 30, 15 minutes on it. When she did that, I was like, I literally am going to add that to my playlist. I just want her to know
Love
that.
it.
I'm waiting for the next one to come out because amazing.
Yeah. And for me, you know, a lot of times it's really hard for me to listen to music now just on pure enjoyment because my brain is always ticking like this, that, and the third. This is one of them songs I wish I'd have produced because it sounds like something that I would want to do. You know,
I can see your name on that one.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a groove on that you can just, whether you at the house cleaning up on Saturday morning or whether you in the car cruising on Sunday.
I was just getting ready to say, that is one of them cleaning tracks where you gonna stop. Don't you give up, hey, right. Don't you give up. If you don't know nothing else, because that's all I got out the whole song. Don't you give up.
Well, see, then that means that the hook was effective. Because, you know, back in the day when, you know, I used to manage record stores, people would come in and the first thing they'd be like, I don't know the lyrics, but I know it goes, don't you give up, don't you give up. And it's like, oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about. So we know the hook is, you know, for all you young people, record stores is where people used to go and buy their records.
Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, life. Boy, good God, I sound old. But
45.
Good God Almighty. Woo. So shout out to them and shout out to that song. That song gets an A. And you know that brings up an interesting idea that we'll talk about after the show. I think we're going to create the Liftoffs on Spotify playlist. And it's going to be a playlist for people who are featured on our platform that we will start creating a playlist for everybody so people can find the music that we really believe in. So that'd be something we talk about off air. You got anything else you want to say? Absolutely.
We definitely have to do that. And she's going to be the first one to lead it off as far as I'm concerned. Let somebody come on here and y'all can take her place. Don't you give up. That's all I can say is don't give up. Because she is at the top. She's number one right now. She's number one. So I'm so sorry.
I love it. All right. Next up, We don't know what the intern got, but he gonna pick
Jesus.
one for us. So let's see what we got on the list.
Come on.
Keep it locked. Blast Radio 247. It's the beat of the streets.
That Negro picked a promo of himself.
I can't stand him.
You see?
That's why he.
You see?
You know what?
see?
It's that's why it's not Veep. It's PP, aka PP. We took Veep.
That Negro said, "I'm gonna make this playlist too
You know what?
with a promo."
That's all. This is why. This is why we take Veep.
This
off
this
of
is
it,
why
and it ends with the PP.
this is why people post your home address and your home phone number, brother.
And the first and last government name, which is about to hit airway if you don't play our next song, sir.
Is it just for one night? Don't wanna come off this high. All of these feels and vibes. Take a ride with me, let's slide. I can show you paradise. Eyes on you, focus on the rhythm of your body. Dipping on head to toe, looking like a goddess. You hardly take risks, but you in need of excitement. Oh, you like this? Follow my lead into a night filled with enchantment. Live in the moment, don't you go searching for a tactic. Look in my eyes, I need you here, don't get distracted. Miss our chance of finding love that be tragic. Follow my lead into a night filled with enchantment. Live in the moment, don't you go searching for a tactic. Look in my eyes, I need you here, don't get distracted. Miss our chance of finding love that be tragic. Tonight is your chance, the sky is the limit. So don't you hold back, take me by surprise. Don't know where we'll end, but I hope it's your bed. So we can make love until the morning light. Eyes on you, focus on the rhythm of your body. Dipping on head to toe, looking like a goddess. You hardly take risks, but you in need of excitement. Oh, you like this? Follow my lead into a night filled with enchantment. Live in the moment, don't you go searching for a tactic. Look in my eyes, I need you here, don't get distracted. Miss our chance of finding love that be tragic. Follow my lead into a night filled with enchantment. Live in the moment, don't you go searching for a tactic. Look in my eyes, I need you here, don't get distracted. Miss our chance of finding love that be tragic.
And that is one of the OGs of Blast Music 247, Elijah Rosario. Don't overthink it. I always joke with Elijah that I'm gonna need to find a dinosaur to kill so I could get me some leather pants too, because I'm gonna need a bigger size and I'm gonna need some dinosaur leather. But you know,
I can't
that's
stand it.
that's my personal problem that I'm working out on my own. So Miss Lady, let's talk about that track. What do you think of?
Okay, so Elijah, that's a B plus for me. It's a strong B plus. I love the soundtrack. I love the lyrics with the soundtrack. And the reason why it's a B plus for me is because the video. I just wish the video would have spoke more to what he was saying. I could, if I close my eyes and listen to the music, I'm into it. I like everything. I can see myself jamming to it. But when I'm opening my eyes and I'm trying to watch the video, I'm a little just thrown off. And that's just me personally. I love it. I think it's going to go somewhere. But I just would have loved to see the video follow. Like, I wish it was like in a club somewhere, and he was talking about what he's singing about. I wish the video would have kind of matched what he's singing about versus, you know.
I think that's fair, and I agree. This is one of those videos that, do you want to mark off that you got a music video for the song? Yes, right. So it marks that off. But yeah, a little bit more thought into the music video probably would have helped it a little bit further. If I could just if that's the only critical thing I can really say. Elijah has a very unique sound. He has a sound that can go places, because that world Afrobeat meets reggae is really what's popping right now. Right. And not only is it popping in the United States, it's popping all over the world.
All over.
Shout out to all of our Nigerian and West African contingents who submitted to Blast Radio 247. Boy, we got a boatload of them, and they all fire.
Okay.
But Elijah's sound is one of those sounds that it'll make it really, really easy to say, hey, let me come perform here, let me come perform there. And so he has a really, really decent following. Why did I just punt my mic? We have a stained glass sighting. What's up, Mr. Glass?
What's up, Mr. Glass?
What's going on? Yeah, so and I like Elijah's energy too. You know what I mean? And so real good brother. Talked to him a couple of times, and he is about this life. He's about getting his fans. He's about getting out there and performing. And so shout out to him. I'm looking forward to more greatness, and we definitely want him on the Liftoff.
On the show, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because as the music came on, it makes you want to get up and try to do the little, Nigerian dances. Even though I know I can't, it makes you want to do it. So I love.
What you mean wait, back up. What you mean you can't?
Oh, because they
because I done heard some things. I done heard some things about you, man.
No, you ain't heard nothing. The devil is all the lies, okay? He is all the lies. And what we're not going to do is let you use. We ain't going to let him use you on this TV show.
Wait a minute.
It's all the lies. Now we back to the music. This is the music podcast, okay? Now, what I was saying, so I was so rudely interrupted, was that his music, I love it. So I can't wait to get him on here. Like, I would love to hear some more music from him. Absolutely. He would definitely be on my playlist. But that was the only critique I had.
Yeah, and and a lot of times I get it. And here's what people don't understand. And not only do people who listen to music and buy music, but independent artists themselves. If it costs you, let's say it costs you $1,000 to produce a song, right? Technically, you're supposed to spend $1,000 to promote that song. You get what I mean? And so, and a lot of times, independent artists, because money is scarce, you kind of pick your battles, like, especially if you're trying to build your own studio and you got your own equipment. Well, I got $1,000. How am I gonna get a return on this? And so you pick creative ways to do your video, because like I've been saying, music videos are necessary in independent music these days. You gotta have it.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. In this case right here, would it have been safe to say that maybe he should have just put a song? Like, I'm curious to know, because I don't understand this world. I'm just a listener. So this is really a legit question. Question. Would it been safe to just put the music out there on this case instead of adding a video? Or is it necessary to, whenever you put a song out, you should promote a video with it as well?
You should, and I'm gonna tell you why. And there's a two-part answer to that. Number one, now you definitely need a video, because with independent music, you do not want to leave any money on the table. There are some revenue streams that we will talk about on this show eventually, where you're looking at what you really want to do is to get into the ad revenue sharing portion of YouTube, and you got to have X amount of followers with X amount of hours of content. And once you do that, you will start generating some income, right? So you want as much content out there as humanly possible on that particular front. Now, that being said, there may be some thought into how you're going to best display your music video. Now, do you have a choice of doing visualizers, right? Which a visualizer is just a picture that's animated that has the song in the background. You know, you could do those for, very inexpensively. You've seen them done here on Blast Media. You can do a lyric video, right? That you can have the lyrics pop up and have the words, and that counts as a music video in and of itself as well. Okay. So I think that what independent artists need to do, and this is my opinion, think about your money situation, that you need a video, but think about the most creative ways that video can hit. You know what I mean? Who are you trying to reach? Who is your audience going to sit there and really be entertained by the video that you present? Or is your audience going to go, he did that because he knows he needs a video? You get what I'm saying? Okay. Right, and so just some creative things to think about, Okay. Inbox me if you need some ideas, but I ain't cheap.
Oh, I'm gonna inbox you. So I'm gonna do a video on them lies you heard.
Nah, man, they wasn't no lies because we got footage. Moving on.
Yes, come on, PP. Because now we about to rearrange.
Because what you're not gonna do is punk me on this show twice in a row.
We gonna rearrange your name.
Because Mr. SB is gonna show up in a minute. So somebody better play some music real quick.
I ain't never scared. I'm from California. We ain't never scared. Come on, BP. Before me and my co-host
you want to start that California stuff. That's all right, though.
Listen. Don't make me.
You know what? Intern, play the music. Darn it.
Tell you something about experience. You never know where it's coming from. I gave it a run on my own so many times before and did it wrong without you. But now I know who you are. You give me life abundantly, and being without you is something I won't do. I'm gonna live, I'm gonna be strong, and I'm gonna make it. They said I wouldn't make it, they said I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't amount to anything. So no matter what people say, gonna love you anyway, and I shall live and not die. I'm gonna live my life abundantly, and I'll fulfill my purpose, what He has for me. And people may be wondering why my life is blessed. It's because I chose obedience, and He is well pleased.
Quiet storm, y'all. The devil came, he stole and destroyed. Ultimately, he tried to kill you, boy. But I'm still here, only by God's grace. Walking in love and still keeping the faith. I ain't gonna let them devils kill me or keep me in bondage, cause I'm freed indeed. When Christ shed his bleed, his blood, I'm alive with him. I bear forth from above. If I had wings like a dove, y'all would see me fly. But I'm rooted and grounded in the word, there's no lie. Abundantly supplied, walking in the confidence by running my race. Getting off course is something that I can't afford because I live to proclaim the works of the Lord.
They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't amount to anything, anything, anything. So no matter what people say, gonna love you anyway. And I shall live and not die, die, die.
And that was Live and Not Die by Meek and the Divine Favor Project featuring Quiet Storm. So, Miss Lady, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. Do I sound like a monster? Because you do. Why are you talking?
Did you ask me if I sounded like a monster?
I'm so serious.
What the? Why must you? Why?
I'm serious.
Why? Do I sound like a monster now?
I'm serious.
Jeez.
I don't know what happened. Like the sound is slowed down and it just sounds real monsterish.
Where do I go from here? So there she went. I tell you what, let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and play some music and then let her get her technical difficulties back. Get her technical difficulties taken care of. And is she back? Let's see.
Okay.
Do I still sound like a monster? Jeez, us.
All I heard was, what you think? I was like, oh yeah, no, this is scary. I'm not even gonna do that.
See, no. You see, I got all kinds of jokes now, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. So
Yeah,
anyway,
right.
I got all kinds of you ain't living right.
Abort. We're staying on track. We're staying on track today.
Okay. So once again, that was Live and Not Die, the Divine Favor Project featuring Meek and Quiet Storm.
Mm-hmm.
What are your initial thoughts on that song and that video?
Okay, so that gets a B for me. Strong, actually a B plus. I'm gonna give that a B plus as well. What I love about it is I love how the world needs some uplifting music right now. I do love that. And I love the message behind it. I love how she brought God in it. I just really, really love it. I love her message behind it. Her voice is amazing. Like, I would love to have her on here to see what was her thought process behind creating that song and the video behind it, because there's a story behind it. You could tell. I just didn't completely get the full story. And I'm not sure if that's because of how I couldn't really piece it all together, but I can completely tell that there's a story behind it, and I love it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it.
Okay, so full disclosure, I can tell you pretty much all your questions that you have. We definitely want Meek to come on to lift off.
Okay.
If for nothing else, for her to reveal stuff that I don't want her to reveal. But shout out to Meek. That is my wife.
That's your wife?
Yeah.
That goes to show how slow I am. Do you see how slow I am? What you not?
I was even in.
Put me out here
I was
to make me
no. I
slow.
was in the video, and I was like, "Did she see me?"
No. Where were you? You know what? That goes to show my age too. I should have had my glasses on.
And so the video was directed by Carlos Big Los Massey.
Okay.
He's in the video too. and that was shot in Salisbury. Yeah, that was shot in Salisbury, where we live, at our church, Mission House. Shout out to Pastor Anthony Smith at Mission House for letting us use the church for the video. And you do see some of our contemporaries sprinkled around in there. Taranza Graves, Dorian, Javetta, a lot of people that we have introduced to Blast over the past few months. They made appearances in the video, and basically it's the story of the video was how a lot of times you got to make a decision on whether or not you're going to live or die. And you come to that crossroads. And because stuff is going to happen to you.
Definitely.
And in this life, and you just got to have that mindset. And the funny thing about that particular track. Oh, and shout out to Quiet Storm, who was in the video as well. We wrote that song. What's going on, Mr. President?
Good morning, Mr. Rock.
We wrote that song in 2015, and we did not have it. We had the idea of it, but we didn't really finish it. And we had sent it to the rapper at that time, and he was having a problem with it. Now, fast forward about maybe 5 years through the pandemic, and people are having to make a decision. My wife and I both, we got COVID in August of 2020, and it was a scary time because you just don't, at that point we didn't know
exactly,
because people was dying,
leaving this earth. Yes,
right. People was dying, and it just came to that point that you have to have that mindset of, what, I'm not gonna let this defeat me. I'm gonna live and not die. And strangely enough, we finished that song in time for that. And we were able to finish it having gone through that. And so another thing that I want to point out to independent artists, everybody you see in that video, and shout out to Nikisha Wrights and her husband Travis, because they were our videographers. And y'all have met Nikisha Wrights on Blast. She is a playwright, producer, songwriter. We employed people that were around us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Issa Rae, who is the creator of so many TV shows. I can't think of that show that Issa did on HBO. What is it called? Anyway, hey girl. Hey Carla.
Hi, Miss Carla.
Insecure is the name of it. And Issa has a very interesting video where she talked about when she first started out. Yep, right. That's right. Insecure. She had a very interesting video on Twitter where she talked about when she was starting off, she didn't want to network up. She wanted to network around her. She was like, instead of me going after a Tyler Perry or going after a Shonda Rhimes, I'm just going to create with the people that are around me because I got creative people around me. And a lot of times I think independent artists miss that when they thinking they need to go on celebrity chase. So instead of you trying to spend $500 or $1,000 to get a feature with someone that you think is going to have more of an audience, pick the people that are around you because you got some really, really talented folks around you. And that was an example for us that we were able to pull all of that together. And it was like the Avengers coming together. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody on that. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you, did you think that you guys were going to be able to finish that video with all that was going on? Because again, like I said, I could tell it was the story behind it. I just didn't completely get it all put together through the video. So did you feel like that was going to be something that you was going to be able to get through?
Right. Well, thank you, President. Yeah. Don't pass out over there, D-Ray.
I was looking like, I don't know.
Yeah, the coffee went down the wrong way. Let me tell you something about that shoot, because right around that time, because that was like early spring of 2021 when we shot that. we, and we're still in the pandemic. We're all in masks. We're all still,
Wow.
we're all still sanitizing and cleaning and things of that nature. And it was one of those times where it just felt like this is something that we need to do.
Okay.
And this is something that we are being pushed to do, whether it was necessarily in our best interest or not. Thankfully nobody on set got sick, and we were all able to display our talents or whatever. But yeah, it was one of those things that it felt like, and really, honest and truly, because right around that same time we had a really, really close death in our circle, in our family circle.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like kind of one of those things where it was just like, okay, this is us not only being tested, but this is also a sign that, even in the midst of death, we're going to choose to live. Even in the midst of sickness, even in the midst of whatever's going on, we're going to choose to live. We're going to choose to follow our path wherever it goes. You know what I mean? Because we were not only blessed, but we were equipped. So,
and that's why it's important to have artists come on and tell their story, because even like this, through the storm, you guys pushed through, you made it, and look at all the people that was a part of it, even though I completely missed everybody. I missed you, I missed Gucci. That goes to show. That's horrible. But anyway, you guys pushed through it, and it's the trials and tribulations. God gives it to the strong. And so that's just a testimony that you are even on here to be able to tell the story behind that. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And the thing is, it's like art lives on far beyond us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so to me, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not like a judgment or anything. This is what I want to be known for. This is what how I want to be remembered. I tell my people all the time, I don't want a funeral, I want a concert. You know what I mean?
All right.
Don't, I want music around, because that's what I do. That's what I am. And so shout out to everybody that was involved in that project. Shout out to everybody other project. There's another video we were all on that never get to see the light of day, but we'll have a conversation on that later. But
shout out to everybody on there. Definitely to you and to your wife and Mr. Goose. Shout out. I'm still giving you a strong B+.
That's fair. Okay.
But after the story, I can feel it. Hi, Miss Carla.
Carla says, "Is that the video we did at the park? The one that I have the story on, Miss Carla? Yeah, that's the one that we all did at the park that nobody will ever see again, and we'll have that conversation when I don't get so pissed off about it." So
I'm so curious on why we can't never see that video. Why we can't
put that on every chance I get, that every time I think about it just makes me mad.
So we got something that go under your skin.
Oh God, yeah. Carla says, the pandemic and being creative was tricky. Absolutely. Yes. And Sister Carla knows, because Sister Carla is an award-winning actress, and she's done video, she's done indie films, she's done plays, and so she knows spoken word. Absolutely.
Please go watch her show.
Right. And so it is a decision that you have to make, especially during the pandemic. It's like, okay, we still got to do this art, we still have to get out and represent, but we got to do it, and we got to be safe. You know what I mean? We have to keep in mind that nobody wants to die doing a music video, even though we're gonna get out here and make it happen, And
so at any point, did you guys feel defeated in that, during the pandemic? Did you get to the point, because you know how sometimes stuff can just get overwhelming, especially with the pandemic, and people was leaving this world left and right. Did you ever get to a point to where you felt like, you know what, let's just put a pin in it?
Honestly, quite the opposite. I felt like it was like, this is my time to go. If you were a creative in the pandemic, and you had businesses that were shutting down, everybody was at home, I was working at a hotel that, you know, we all got laid off, and it's like, okay, now I can use what I actually went to school for. You know what I mean? And I read a quote at one point that says that if you didn't accomplish anything during the pandemic, your problem was never time, it was discipline. You know what I mean? And so I saw a lot of opportunity for us. Now, what Sister Carla saying in the comment section was true. You know, what she said, that whole doing comedy virtually, I did not like, but had to roll with it. Absolutely.
Wow.
We've had
Wow.
Demi Day. We've had Demi Day on the Lift Off, and I remember,
Absolutely amazing.
I remember distinctly we did for the Prince Demi project, we did a virtual release party because we couldn't get together and do a party because it was the pandemic. So we actually did a
Wow.
virtual. Yeah, we did a virtual one. So, you know, you had to, the energy's not the same when you had to do things virtually, but at the same time, you're still being obedient to that spirit and to that movement, and you got to make things happen, you know.
Well,
And
shout out to all the creators, including you,
Facts.
Miss Carla, Demi Day, and any other
Facts.
creator that pushed through the pandemic and is still here to tell the story. Like, shout out. It's
facts, not just me, but everybody. Facts. All right.
Everybody.
No doubt. All right, intern, what we got coming up? Let's go.
My niggas call me the OG. Any beat that I make it is OP. I've been all on my grind like you owe me. I've been getting my name out since 03. All of y'all talking that bullshit. Fuck you, my grind never stop. All of that faking on me, get your cool lit. Hated on me, I'm on top. All of my guys gon' talk like it's cool with. Molly, I'm getting you up. All of my family gon' fuck with the true shit. I'm running straight to the top. Cause we got the juice. Ballin' like harder when I'm in the paint. We getting loose. Bobbing and chillin' and smoking the dank. We never lose. Not about love, then we cannot relate. Fuck with the fakes. I cannot fuck with you, ain't no debate. Sheesh. Drippin' with God juice. Boy, they thinking that I'm fictional, just like a cartoon. Trust me, nigga, I'm the realest. My seat is the cartoon. All you haters wanna stop me, I call it a lawsuit. Look, I cannot wait till I pop. Talking that shit, you get popped. We going straight to the top. See you be trying to apply. Niggas really wanna do it how I do it, but they get it for the money. You niggas still drinking bummies. Dummy. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. Throw me a bomb and I throw it back. All of us born to rack. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. Throw me a bomb and I throw it back. Die for my baby, I hold it back. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. Throw me a bomb and I throw it back. Die for my baby, I hold it back. Who's who? Don't give a fuck about who's who. Talking a lot, you gon' lose too. When I get to kicking like Bruce, I'm on guard today. Living in a harder day. He can take a nigga hard away. Always help me through the harder way. You don't really wanna spar today. Living life like a game. We gotta push to the start. To the top is like a race. You gotta move in your Mario. Do it till you see your space. You gotta shoot for the stars. Moving and saying less. My niggas knowing this way the best. Know I gotta roll the ride. Got me fighting for a spy. My niggas came with a cry. Point blank like a die surfing. Fuck all that hate we swerving. Gotta stay focused, coming again like we purging. God, all you be talking that. Throw me a bomb and I throw it back. All of us born to rack. Fuck with the guy. All you be talking that. fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, throw me a bomb and I throw it back. Down for my baby, I hold it back. Fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, throw me a bomb and I throw it back. All of us born to rap. Fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, throw me a bomb and I throw it back. Down for my baby, I hold it back. Fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, fuck with the guy. Or you be talking that, throw me a bomb and I throw it back. Down for my baby, I hold it back.
Okay.
And that is our homie True Bars with Talking That.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, as
Yeah.
the producer,
Mhm.
what do you grade this one at?
I'm gonna give this a B plus as well, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not the production. Production was good, but the arrangement is where my whole background starts screaming out, no, don't do it like that. And I'm gonna tell you why. The hook of this song is the strongest part of it, right? The hook of it is the strongest part. So what you need to do to make it more effective, you got to get to the hook quicker, right? You need to start off with the hook, the verses, do a verse, go back to the hook, one more verse, and end with the hook. So, because in today's music industry, you have, you got 3 minutes to get people's attention. And technically, you got about 30 seconds. You'll lose them after 30 seconds, right? So I would get to that hook quicker. But other than that, this was one of my workout tracks. I love this track.
Okay. All
And
right.
Carla said, well, Pinky was in here jamming. Yeah. It's catchy. I give it that.
Okay, yeah.
And I
like the
tell
beat.
True Bars, I tell True Bars in a minute. I said that's my pull up track right there. When it's time to ride, it's time to ride. So tell me, Miss Lady, what you think?
You giving fingers and everything as you working out?
Sometimes you got to. When you my size and you mad at these 100 pounds that you got to lose. It's like, get this gut.
I can't stand you.
And your middle finger. Hey, look, and your middle finger and everybody else. The little old lady that's over there is shake. The dude over there that can run. That's all up in here and this, that, and other. And you over there like,
around, huh? Throwing up fingers, huh? Like,
that's right.
Okay, I like
getting put out of the YMCA. But go ahead.
You know what? lead the people that's working out alone. Okay, be right. You give a person a rope and they become a cowboy.
That's right. That's right.
One question.
Hey, look. Hey, Sinister took over that question. So go ahead before he come back.
You got mad. You got mad on that one. But
I did. I was feeling that. I'm just gonna let Sinister do his thing today. But go ahead.
I liked it. Again, I'm visual, so I just for me it gets a B because I'm visual and I'm gonna focus on what you're saying. But now, like you said, the hook part was the most catchiest part for me. I found myself grooving into the beat. The beat's gonna make you go regardless. So if you just cut the video off and I get past his verse and I just got the beat and the hook, you got me all day long. So he's good. I mean, I can't take away from his. Again, everybody is very creative. We wouldn't have y'all on the show if you wasn't. So I'm just on the outside looking in, giving you my honest opinion. Gonna support you all the way from the bottom to the top. We started from the bottom, now we're here. So this is just literally my opinion. So I think he's good. I would give him a B.
Facts. You know, so and once again, opinions are subjective, just like, you know, marketing is subjective. And same thing that could work for an Elijah Rosario or that could work for Miss Sales might not work for True Bars. It might not work for, you know, the Divine Favor Project. And so the main thing is, and this is what I always say to my clients or anybody I work with, my first question is, what is your why? Why are you doing this? What is this all about? You know, because and I'm gonna tell you where I got this from. In a galaxy far, far, far away, I was
Not far,
flirting with going to medical school. This was a long time ago.
Lord.
And I was in a mock interview with a medical school admission officer, and it was a program that I was in. And she said we had two candidates. The first candidate, you know, we asked why you want to go to medical school, and she gave the complete book answer. You know, I want to save lives. I want to help people. I want to take care of my men, you know, take care of humankind. You know, the typical book answer or whatever. So the dude that was the other candidate, she asked, why do you want to go to medical school? Dude was like, because I want to make a lot of money. And I don't want to work all my life. I want to make a bunch of money, and I want to retire when I'm 50. Guess who got in?
Which was real. Yeah.
The dude that said he wanted to make a lot of money.
Real.
Why? Because he was real, right? He was real, and you could tell that if he real about that, he gonna be real about everything. And so, exactly. And so, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this to be famous? Okay, if you're doing this to be famous, there's a whole marketing thing you can do to be famous. Are you doing this because this is music that you just love to do? Is this more of a hobby? Okay, great. There's some things you could do to, you know, for that. Are you doing this for economic sustainability? Are you trying to make money in this? Okay, that's some things you got to do. The one thing is you're going to have to learn what your lane is. You're going to have to learn how to market your lane. And more importantly, you got to learn how to stay in your lane, because just because you see somebody else doing something, don't mean it's going to work for you. You know, so a lyric video might work for somebody else, but it might not work for you. It might, you might have to do something else. So, shout out.
Well, how did you feel about his video?
I thought the video was great. I thought it was a little bit too long though, but I thought it was great. I like the visuals. I like the production. I like the cut scenes. I like the effects. I think he was in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix. I think he was in Arizona somewhere, but that city vibe, and what he was talking about, I thought it all fit. I just thought it was too long. You know what I mean? Okay. But I'd shout out to him and all of that. But yeah, that's what I think about that. So, do we got anything else, or are we done? We wrapping up? We wrapping up?
I thought we had one more. I
did too. But this might be the intern rebelling, because
he just cutting us out.
This is what happens when you do a Facebook marketing plan with his home phone number and address.
When you start to put out his own government name.
Yeah. This is what happens. You get cut off at the knees. All right.
When you take the V off the VP and put PP.
Boy, we're gonna pay for that. So, do you have it, Miss Lady? This has been a pleasure. This hour floated by.
It did.
Considering that we had to pivot, this goes to show you that we work well together. So, you have any parting shots? Any parting shots you want to leave with the people?
I want to shout out to everyone. Like, I think everyone on here, first of all, I thank you for sending in your videos and your songs and even allowing us to be able to air them on the show, because this show couldn't even happen without you. So let me just put that out there. Number one, I appreciate you all. I'm welcome to have each and every one of y'all on our show. I love the fact that you all are trusting us with your music and trusting that this is nothing to harm you, hurt you, or anything. Like we are going to support you to the end. Like our opinions, D-Ray couldn't have said it any better. Our opinions are just our opinions, and I appreciate you. Welcome you all on the show. I love your creative style. Don't give up. Keep coming, and we're gonna keep shouting y'all out every step of the way. So thank you. And to D-Ray, hands up. You wouldn't have that name producer if you wasn't a producer. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I appreciate that. First and foremost, we want to thank everybody. Like Miss Lady said, I want to thank my co-host, my queen Ace, because let me tell you something. She brings the energy. And people like Miss Lady, you're gonna have to make a decision. You're either gonna have to just say, you know what, I ain't feeling it because I can't be around you, because her energy is contagious. She's gonna make you do what it do, regardless of whether you want it to do it or not. And so, shout out to Miss Lady. Shout out to my co-host.
Thank you.
Couple of things that we are going to announce today, and as we go down the line, we're going to start elaborating on that a little bit more. Number one, we are going to create a Spotify playlist, so by next week we will have some information on that. And number two, we are toying around with the idea of doing what we want to do, a songwriting contest. We want something that we want some more positive music out there. And so we are opening it up for people to send in, their music that they've been working on or whatever. And the winner, we're trying to work out if we're going to do like a distribution deal, if we're going to do a promotion deal, or maybe just some money or whatever. But we want to do something for Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
In the month of October. So tune in next week. We should have Greg Luster, hip hop artist, MC extraordinaire, who is MC who happens to be Christian. He should be on next week, and we'll have more information on some of the things we're trying to accomplish. So shout out to everybody out there. Thank you for watching. Once again, I am D-Ray, the producer, and this has been The Liftoff.